This is Ice Cream Gecko, and in today's video we are going to take a look at Häagen-Dazs Tiramisu style coffee and mascarpone inspired by Rome. This is an ice cream that is relatively new from Häagen-Dazs and one that I wanted to take a look at for quite some time now. But I have finally now pulled the trigger on this, and I bought this at my local Globus for I think €6.99 the other day. Now Häagen-Dazs has also arrived at the €7 mark. Let us take a look around the packaging here on the bottom. And here at the nutrition table, pause if you want to read any of that, and pause if you want to take a look at the ingredients lists right here in French, Dutch and German. Let me get some of the ice off here. Yeah, Globus has got a tendency to ice things up quite a way. Let's turn this around, pause at any given point if you want anything in focus. Unfortunately, because this is such a round form factor, that's a bit difficult to get everything in focus. And pause if you want to take a look at any of the other stuff down here. I guess we've got the milk from France, lait français. Is that correct? I don't know, I don't speak French. Not able to do it. Let's open up the thing. Here we have the signature plastic foil. Let's tear it off. Looks wise, I guess it does look alright. We've got slightly brown, slightly not chocolatey really. It's more like a coffee brown hue to this. Then we've got some pieces right there. I guess maybe some sauce, some sprinkles here. I don't know what they are all about. Yeah, tiramisu style. I guess there are some cocoa powder things in there. Coffee and mascarpone here. Looks good enough for that, I suppose. Let us put this thing back on and do what we always do, our signature move on this channel, and slice this in half and see what it looks like in the cross section. Let's go for this. Okay. Was easy to tap in at the top, but maybe there's a core here. It would make sense if there was some sort of core. Judging by the tiramisu style that is apparently pursued in this particular one. Would be nice to have a proper tiramisu ice cream, I suppose. Let's open this up. Okay, so we see that we do have some sort of layering going on here. We have pieces, maybe those are the biscuit pieces right here. Quite soft though, not the like Löffel biscuit, these like stick biscuit things that I'm personally used to. It does have a coffee scent to it, a very nice ice cream coffee scent to it. And I think I'm going to keep this left one. Or am I? No, I'm going to keep the right one, and I'll put the left one away, and I'll see you back at the desk in just a second. Okay, I am back at the desk, and let's zoom out a bit. Take the spoon and take a look at this close up ourselves now. Let's scrape off some of the ice cream here up top of the Rührkuchenstückchen. It was mentioned on the ingredients list. Okay, so we do have ice cream with it says a Frischkäse-Zubereitung, Mascarpone Frischkäse, mascarpone cream cheese. Feels a bit, I guess it feels a bit different than the regular creamy ice cream from Häagen-Dazs. And with this flavor, it's got a certain coffee caramel flavor almost. Yeah. I don't know if it's the ice cream itself, but it feels a bit more, not grainy, but as if there was something more heterogeneous, being frozen down and turned into ice cream than regular cream. But maybe it's just a million little pieces of this biscuit stuff. I have to say that I find this to be okay at the moment, but I'm not pleasantly overwhelmed with anything. These biscuit pieces are quite soft. I would have expected them to be quite soft, right? But over here well, I mean, judging by tiramisu, they're different in texture than a tiramisu biscuit piece. These are a lot more dense, more chewy. Yeah, not really the most tiramisu-like thing I've ever eaten. The coffee flavor is nice. It's very sweet, but it's to be expected to be sweet in ice cream, right? Yeah. And the layering, I suppose they went for some sort of layering with the sauce here, but the biscuit pieces are distributed through the entire column of this thing, so not the most tiramisu style thing in that regard either. I guess you can call this tiramisu style, but I have to say that I'm slightly disappointed, because while I do like the individual flavors of these things, when I think of tiramisu, the whole layering process and these different like sections, height-wise, of this thing do make all the difference between a proper tiramisu and something else. And this right here is just like a, I don't know, I don't think it's the best ice cream tiramisu or tiramisu ice cream representation that there is out there. Or at least I hope so. If this is the best, then maybe I have to make a better one. The caramel flavor that is in here, this like sweetness, along with this coffee flavor, it's kind of pleasant, but also maybe even a bit too much. I'm sort of missing this liqueur-like sauce from tiramisu, that's for sure. Okay. So, as of right now, this, I guess you can call this tiramisu style. Coffee and mascarpone, cafe e mascarpone, but I would have called it something different. Maybe coffee and biscuit, because it doesn't remind me too much of tiramisu. If it wouldn't have been like pictured on the top and on the whole tub, then I would have just thought about like layered coffee ice cream with biscuit pieces. Yeah? I think this is what really should be the description of this particular one. So I think I'm going to finish this off now, and I'll see you with the review sheet in just a second. The consumption process is complete, and we are ready to rate this with the review sheet. First impression wise, I'm giving 0.5 out of 1 available point. Well, it did smell okay and did look okay. Nothing was off-putting in any way, shape or form. I do have to say that when you buy an ice cream that is tiramisu style or tiramisu themed, like it is here on the packaging as well, then I would have expected something like a dark brown powdered top. And this one here was just the regular ice cream that was shining through the foil and was indeed visible under the foil when we, well, took off the foil. So not very tiramisu style at all. Therefore only 0.5 out of 1 available point here. Color-wise, I'm giving 0.75 out of 1 available point because, again, nothing was off-putting in any way, shape or form. The ice cream base looked alright, these pieces of biscuit looked alright, the sauce looked alright, but what I was missing was some dark brown stuff, like we can see here on the packaging, like this dark powdered top. This is what tiramisu is famous for, right? When somebody brings the tiramisu somewhere, you always have this dark powdered top, and it didn't, well, show up here anywhere. So I cannot give full points, especially not because we don't have any other thing to look at aside from this piece of tiramisu, and what we see here wasn't represented appropriately. So yeah, 0.75 out of 1 available point. Therefore, consistency and texture-wise, I'm giving 1.5 out of 2 available points. The base ice cream was alright. It was creamy enough, wasn't really watery in any way. There weren't any crystals there. The biscuit pieces were a bit chewy, which is good for an ice cream, but not the greatest thing, I guess, for tiramisu style anything. Therefore, also no full points rating here either. And also, like, no powder. I mean, they could have improved in all 3 ratings up until now with just putting some cocoa powder up top. I guess it's not that easy, but they maybe could have done some caramelized thing up top and put some powder on it just for, I guess, making it somewhat tiramisu style, but they didn't do that in any way, shape or form. Therefore, yeah, no full points in any way, shape or form. Taste-wise, I'm giving 3.5 out of 5 available points. Nothing was tasting bad. We did have the coffee flavor, we did have decent ice cream flavor, and the biscuits were tasting okay too. But what I have to say is that the whole, well, tiramisu flavor, this like sweet, like super sweet sauce that you can get with it, and then you've got this sort of texture to it, this special one. Nothing really here came together in a way that I would expect a tiramisu style ice cream to come together to. I hope that did make sense, this particular sentence or description of my thoughts. But while a lot of the box were ticked, I guess in a way, this whole tiramisu style as a tiramisu flavor with the texture and the taste, it just did not come together. Therefore, I personally cannot give more than 3.5 out of 5 available points. Individually, the components were tasting fine, and this caramel coffee flavor, that was pretty nice. It was very pleasant, but it wasn't really tiramisu style in a way that I would expect a tiramisu style ice cream to be. Therefore, yeah, this is the rating that it gets. Theme realization wise, I'm giving it 0.5 out of 1 available point, and well, according to the theme that I've been expecting, I should have seen something that is at least resembling this in some way, shape or form. But what we had was not something that had proper layers. We had some layers, I guess, with the sauce, but nothing like that. We didn't have like a biscuit section on the bottom and then the mascarpone section up top with the powdered top that we would see when we take off the foil. No, nothing like that in any way, shape or form. And therefore I cannot really give it full points here in any way, shape or form. I'm actually quite disappointed by this. Usually I'm a bit of a Häagen-Dazs fanboy. Well, not a fanboy obviously, otherwise I would have just given this ratings everywhere and been a bit more nice to it. But I even though I like Häagen-Dazs, I'm a bit disappointed because they didn't like give us a different picture here. They gave us like the tiramisu piece and nothing else to make us ready for the experience that we were about to experience. So yeah, I expected something like this, layers, at least some powder, but I didn't get any of that. So I cannot give it more points than this. Therefore, a 6.75 out of 10 is the final rating for the Häagen-Dazs tiramisu style coffee and mascarpone. Yeah, if you have had this particular ice cream, please let me know in the comment section what you think about it. I, as I've stated, am a bit disappointed. Well, I did like the coffee flavor, the caramel flavor. I have to say that this wasn't tiramisu style enough, not even close to be called like a proper tiramisu style ice cream, and I expected more from Häagen-Dazs, I have to say that. I thought, okay, we're paying $6.99 for an ice cream, this is Häagen-Dazs. Usually I feel that the whole like flavor to price ratio is a bit better than Ben & Jerry's, even though I do like Ben & Jerry's. They're a bit more expensive usually, and I like usually the simplicity and the sheer quality that speaks of itself from Häagen-Dazs ice cream. So I expected something to be resembling this sort of picture that I see on the packaging, but this is not at all what I got. So I'm a bit disappointed by this, and yeah, I'm curious whether you are disappointed too, or whether or not you actually like this and think that I'm stupid for giving this not a full rating, a 10 out of 10. Anyway, I think this is it for this particular video. If you've got a question or a video suggestion, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. And if you want to see more videos just like this one, feel free to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I'm going to see you soon. Until then,